California is now the first state to be under a state of emergency over the rising cases of bird flu. More than half of the 61 human cases nationwide have been in California, with most of them in farm workers exposed to infected cattle. Today, we learned about the first severe case of bird flu in the U.S. It's a Louisiana patient who was hospitalized after being exposed to sick, dead birds. Health officials say so far the virus hasn't been spread from person to person.
California has declared a state of emergency due to the H5N1 bird flu, and they're saying that it's threatening a word that starts with P and ends in an emic. And this is totally crazy considering at 11 o'clock EST today during my live, we were talking about this very thing. Now, I've seen the writing on the walls for several months for a couple of reasons. One of them being I started a farm stand on our farm earlier this year. Long story short, the best-selling product that I had was eggs. My whole flock got killed by coyotes, so I started outsourcing my egg sales. And a local farmer who has a huge flock said, hey, this is going to be an issue this fall. I want you to know this. He literally told me several months ago. Now, earlier today, the CDC revealed that a person in Louisiana was the first person who has been hospitalized due to the emerging bird flu. California's Governor Gavin Newsom said that he put the state of emergency into a place to expedite and streamline the response to the bird flu. 33 of the 61 recorded cases of the bird flu came from California. 16 states overall have had a case or two of the bird flu. Newsom said he was already implementing efforts to keep the public from getting the bird flu, and he's been working with the dairy farm workers to keep that rate very low, but they just want to be careful and make sure. If you didn't know, over 100 million birds have already been culled, which is to try to stop the spread of this bird flu.
Just in time for the second Trump administration, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, has declared a state of emergency in what he's dubbing a proactive action, as bird flu cases have reached 61 across the entire country and 34 in the state of California. That's right, California, with an estimated population of 38.97 million people, has had 34 people catch bird flu. So here we go again, just in time for the Trump administration to begin. American psycho like Gavin Newsom declares a proactive action state of emergency for California. You know what to do if they start rolling this out again. Say no.
Listen, you guys, I've been posting about this, and this just in, Gavin Newsom declares state of emergency due to bird flu. Now, I'm not saying this is something for us all to start getting worried about, but what I am saying is it's questionable because we're very, very close to a regime change. And, sometimes during these times, like the last regime change, did you notice that something happened where people were getting kind of está enfermo, if you know what I'm saying? So this is just me letting everybody know that I'm going to keep paying attention, and I hope you are too. Make sure to like, follow, and share.
Who was the first state to declare a state of emergency when COVID hit? I'll give you one guess. And it's the same state who just declared a state of emergency for H5N1. If your guess was California, and if your guess was that Gavin Newsom was the first governor to issue the state of emergency during the pandemic, you would also be right. And if you would also remember, the first place to have a death linked to COVID was California. I just find it interesting that here we are, state of an emergency again in California. Let me also ask you this. Everyone who was outside watching those drones, how many of you woke up with a sore throat? As a matter of fact, today is December the 18th, 2024. How many of you got a sore throat today or yesterday or the day before? Let's watch these comments.
Gavin Newsom declares a state of emergency in California due to the bird flu. One patient today hospitalized in Louisiana. 61 cases across the country. I imagine it's a lot more. If you followed me back in April 1st of 2024, I guess, put this video out. Patient in Texas diagnosed with bird flu after contact with Cows, health officials. The reason why I bring it up is because back then the fear was that it's going to go from a cow's milk or a cow's meat to humans. Now, today, because of Louisiana, the big fear is it's going to go from human to human. Now, obviously, this is a developing story. There's 61 confirmed cases. I imagine there's a lot more, but the signs and symptoms of the infection are basically the same as any other flu. You're going to have muscle aches, cramps, fevers, headaches, all those kind of things, sore throat, and probably a raspy voice. But the other big reason why this zoonotic infection is getting a lot of airwaves is because it jumped from chickens to cows to humans. Typically, it doesn't make that leap, and when it does, it's not usually good. Anyways, I try my best to keep you guys informed, so definitely spread the news, spread the awareness, follow, like. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one, especially when my voice feels a little bit better. Hopefully, it's not the bird flu. I love y'all.
So they declared a state of emergency for California. It's the H5N1, which is the bird flu. New lore every day. I knew something was coming up. I didn't know what it was going to be. I wasn't thinking H5N1. I wasn't thinking, bird flu. But I can't say I'm surprised. Seriously, I can't say I'm surprised. I actually hate that. See, because it's already a state of emergency. I haven't really heard anything about bird flu, birds with flus, or any food that's been contaminated with such flu or anything like that. But here we are. Here we are. Now, I think, this might be one of the last things of 2024, but I'm not sure. There could be 20 fucking more things, but bird flu just was not something I was expecting. I'm not surprised, but bird flu and states of emergency in California is crazy. Wow.
California is now the first state to be under a state of emergency over the rising cases of bird flu. More than half of the 61 human cases nationwide have been in California, with most of them in farm workers exposed to infected cattle. Today, we learned about the first severe case of bird flu in the U.S. It's a Louisiana patient who was hospitalized after being exposed to sick, dead birds. Health officials say so far the virus hasn't been spread from person to person.
California is in a state of emergency due to the bird flu, and I'm hearing threats of starts with a P, ends with a C. Fill in the blanks, we've had one before. So as California declares a state of emergency of a new severe bird flu case that was discovered, what does it mean for the rest of our country? The possibility of H5N1 spread to humans on a large scale has been feared by some time by research experts, but to date, no human-to-human transmission of the virus has been documented. According to the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, people in the U.S. have been confirmed with the virus. Most of them either infected via dairy herds or commercial poultry flock. California has confirmed 34 cases in humans. I just watched a video where a girl says she was warned about this exact thing happening from a local farmer. I just feel like 2025 is going to be a very interesting year. Let me know what you think in the comments.
So in breaking news, California has declared state of emergency. And I'm sure you've heard why, but I'm going to tell you anyways. We have the bird flu. We have the lovely, spectacular bird flu. And everybody was already saying that when COVID hit, the year started off with WTF. And then going into 2025, it starts with WTF. And in my mind, I was already knowing that we were off to a bad start. Do you want to know why? 1, Trump is in office. 2, TikTok might get banned. And now 3, we got the bird flu. So my only questions are, if I have to miss work, who's writing me a check? Who's writing me a check? And how much will that check be? Because you see these bills, they don't pay themselves. They don't. You got to work for that money. And another thing, I'm not getting a vaccine. You're not pumping more stuff into me because you think it's going to cure me. I ain't heard nothing about the COVID vaccines in a cool minute. Nothing. Also, my camera's glitching and I have no idea why. So my only questions are, if we gotta leave, if we gotta go, where are we going? Where are we going? Because I'll pack the bags right now. I'll pack them right now. Me, the kids, the cat, the dog, the husband, right now. Where are we going? Also, what platforms are we going to if TikTok does go? I'm really curious about that. But yeah, I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy how the year is starting off. And if this is how the world ends, it's been a good ride, y'all. It's been a hell of a ride.
California declaring its state of emergency is only the first state of many to come. If you're a leftist and you are not paying attention to the current outbreak of H5N1, you are not adequately preparing yourself, your family, your friends, your community for the world that we exist in now. If you're not taking precautions, if you're not divesting from comforts, you're going to be in that boat needing help from the few of us that are living in the reality that we all exist in. You should be wearing a respirator if you care about others. You should be wearing a respirator if you care about yourself.
California has declared a state of emergency due to the H5N1 bird flu.
Translation, put that raw milk back. No, seriously. As of December 17th, when the CDC last updated this chart, there were 33 confirmed cases of H5N1 in California. And all 33 of those cases were due to cattle exposure, specifically from raw milk. Cows can contract avian flu by consuming each other's milk. And through that milk, that can then be passed on to humans. But H5N1 is killed at 165 degrees Fahrenheit, which is done via pasteurization. Now, of course, there are other ways of contracting it by being around actual livestock. But the bulk of the cases are coming from people drinking raw milk. And as far as contracting it from eggs, properly cooked eggs do not pose a risk. Now, it is Christmas and I've been seeing a lot of eggnog recipes using raw eggs. Temper your eggs. If you don't know how, Google it. There are like dozens of recipes on how to temper eggs. Those shots of vodka is not killing anything unless you're waiting 2 weeks. Y'all be safe out here.
Well, hello and good morning. Okay, so California, we got problems, and I'm here to make a public service announcement. Look at this.
A bird flu state of emergency now declared in California. More dairy cattle testing positive in Southern California. Thanks for staying with us here at 5:30. I'm Hunter Soward.
And I'm Curtis Bing. So what is the danger and the impact to the items you buy? Your reporter, Tori Apodaca, is getting answers live for us in Stockton. Tori?
You see what I'm saying? So I didn't mean to interrupt you, Tori, but every time it's always something. Like, now what?
Curtis, one of those impacts, prices. I was speaking with the owner here, and she says that she's been watching the price of eggs and milk go up over the past few weeks. Right now, a dozen eggs, nearly $9.
$9 for some liquid chickens? Like, what type of flu did? Explain, tell me something.
The strain that's circulating right now that has infected cows that we're most concerned about, that one has typically presented with very minor symptoms, conjunctivitis, some body aches.
See, look, I'm asthmatic anyway, so I really ain't even supposed to be messing with no dairy. And you see, in situations like this, that force people like me to just change our diet. But if I feel like we should be on high alert right now.
Do people need to be more alarmed?
And I would say you don't need to worry about this if we're doing a good job with surveillance and if we're putting our resources where they need to be.
Wait, why you keep saying if? Like, what you mean if? Like, you don't sound so confident and you're not making me or nobody else feel confident. Like, why you sound like that?
The California Animal Health and Food Safety Lab, or CAVS, at UC Davis is the only lab in the state qualified to conduct bird flu surveillance testing. And workers there tell us they have been underpaid, overworked, and severely backlogged.
Of course. Trust me, leave it to California to underpay somebody and be backlogged for weeks. So what now? What are we supposed to do?
Now, health officials say that it's best to get pasteurized products just to be safe, but the bird flu, they say, is not a foodborne illness. It has not been detected to have been spread from person to person. It's really just those people who are in contact with cattle or birds.
Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but we got a whole lot of cows in California. And we got a whole lot of birds, too. So, see, I'm just going on a little diet real quick. I'm cool. But please, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. Happy Thursday. Y'all have a good day now.
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing on this lovely Thursday? You guys, I did a video about this because California had one confirmed case of the H5N1, aka the bird flu. And now they're saying that there's 34 people here out of 38 million of Californians. Okay, only 34, and that bird flu could only be transferred from bird to cattle. So how? And then now they're saying that farmers are getting it. So if farmers are getting it, how is it spreading to regular people that are not on the farm? So I'm probably guessing you know, let's just put it, let's just say, not for real, people are getting it from eating the meat, right? Because some people don't care that their cows are sick, and they rather chop it up for some money and sell it out. That's how some people got sick back in the day. But in this case, they're calling it, they're trying to call it a pandemic. I'm sorry, a pandemic. And so, wow, this is very amazing. So, like I said in my last video, y'all need to get prepared if you guys are not. Because now they're saying that this is possibly considered a pandemic. You know what they're going to do to us? They're going to lock us down. So why not get your canned goods? Women, get your pads. Men, get your deodorant, body wash, whatever you guys need if they're going to start doing this. You see, they're starting to raise prices in California because of this bird flu. This is getting ridiculous, but who knows? This might be spreading because I know every state has to have a farm where they get their stuff, right? Maybe not the coldest states, but you guys know what I mean. So I'm just going to say, watch out for this. I'm going to look out and bring some updates to what California is doing because, like they say, whatever starts in California, it starts to travel. Because California got to be the first in everything. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head. Have a great day, YouTube.